Welcome to Lombardi's Ball.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl. Does he have a vintage moment in it? In the end zone, it is caught for the win.
The Green Bay Packers are going to be world champions, NFL champions for the third straight year. What the hell's going on out here?
Jones, look at that balance. Aaron Jones, see ya. Rodgers, four-man rush, gonna float it down the seam. Adams has it, and he's in. Touchdown, Packers. 2nd and 6. Zadarius Smith. The beat goes on.
Oh, yeah, baby. We've been waiting all day for a Sunday night just an hour away as we're wheeling and dealing and getting ready for the Packers to play host on a snowy Lambeau Field to the Tennessee Titans. How you doing, everybody? My face is red as heck. That's good. But Alex Strope with you alongside the boys from Lombardi's Bar. To my right is Dan Kotnick. Below me, Jimmy Christensen, as well as Todd Varney. Guys, happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, man. Finally Packer time.
Finally.
Putting me as far away from you as you can. That's a smart move on your part there, Alex.
Yeah, social distancing taken to a whole nother level, man. You still stink through the camera. That's unbelievable.
And what's wild is I just got out of the shower like 10 minutes ago, and I don't know what it is.
You just
It's that weekend funk, especially on a long weekend like this.
Right,
right. Man.
Well, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to all of you out there, to you guys as well, besides you, Todd. Good to see all of you back at it. Hope you had a great holiday. But it's back to business now tonight, baby. The Packers doesn't look like they're going to get the help from the Los Angeles Rams that they need. But nonetheless, they're still looking for a win tonight at home against Tennessee, who with a win will win the AFC South. So a lot of big implications going into this one. We've also got this aspect thrown onto us. It was supposed to be 30 degrees and beautiful in Lambeau Field tonight. It turned into this instead. This was about an hour and a half ago. Credit to @JWyattSports on Twitter. And I'm in East Green Bay. I just walked outside about a half an hour ago. Oh man, it's fun out there. So it's going to be interesting. I guess let me start here. Snow, yay or nay, and then B, how do we think this affects the game? Dan, we'll start with you.
Oh, dude, snow all the way, man. Like I don't care. I don't care what it does to like the integrity of the game or whatever. Like snow is baller. Like football should always baller. Football should always be played in the snow, man. Like some of the best games that I remember going to were like in snow at Lambeau. Like it just adds to the aura. Like put that picture up again. Like that is a sexy ass picture. I'm always ready for a snow game at Lambeau. Like that. Oh, how do you not get hyped about that, man?
It's too bad that the stands won't be full. That's definitely one of the issues I have. But definitely a cool sight when it's powder all over Lambeau. Jimmy, yay or nay on snow? How do you think it changes things tonight?
Usually I'd be yay on snow, but for a team that we're facing that has bad pass defense, so the 29th rated in yards and touchdowns allowed, I was really hoping that we'd have good passing conditions so we could just carve them up. So that obviously is going to affect the passing game. So a little bummed about the snow, but it'll make watching the game super fun. And hopefully Derrick Henry just slips every time he tries to run. So there's that pro from it too, I guess.
Yeah, I like the optimism. I'm going to flip that to pessimism because I think Derrick Henry's going to do whatever the hell he wants because he's freaking Derrick Henry. Todd, yay or nay snow? What changes tonight?
Yay. Like Dan said, it's snowy Lambeau is always great. I think this actually gives the Packers a little bit of an advantage. We've seen Rodgers play good in poor conditions. So I think, our offense is going to be able to click along as per usual. Ryan Tannehill, I mean, if he can't play in snow, we don't know. We haven't seen him do it a whole lot. Hopefully it slows them down and helps us out because they do. I mean, Derrick Henry's great. They've got some pretty solid wide receivers on the outside in Davis and Brown. So I think it helps the Packers on that one.
Most definitely. I mean, this is a warm weather team, obviously down in Tennessee. 10-4 are the Titans. They've looked good this year. They are the number 1 scoring team in football. The Packers right behind them at number 3, scoring just 0.1 less points per game than the Titans this year. So the Chiefs are team number 2, all right there, neck and neck. We assume this will be a high-scoring affair, even with the snow, I assume, right? I mean, both of these teams know how to get into the end zone or at least get points on the board. I even think with the dramatics, with the weather, we'll still see high scoring. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think it's still going to be a high-scoring game. Neither of these defenses are really known for making a lot of stops anyways. So hopefully our defense can do something to slow down Derrick Henry, but it's going to be I really think it might come down to whoever has the ball last to wins this game pretty much. I don't see many defensive stops happening, but hopefully I'm wrong because I would love to see some sack celebrations out of the Smith brothers.
Sure thing, man. Sure thing. And
the one thing that I always think of is like every time we have like a meetup like this, not just the Packers, but like the NFL, when it's like 2 top scoring offenses, we should be expecting a complete light up the scoreboard game. It always feels like we never get that. And I just feel like there's like with the snow and everything else, like it's almost like setting us up for like have one of those moments where everyone predicts like a 30-40 kind of game. And then it ends up being 21-17, like just a dig it out in the trenches kind of game. So I don't know. It literally, but like with Derrick Henry playing, I'm so in awe of that man. So literally anything could happen with that offense.
Is he the best running back in football?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so. There's other guys out there that do things really well, but Henry just seems like one of those guys when you need the yards, you just give him the ball and go. Like anytime they have an incomplete pass on 3rd down or somebody loses yards, you just go, why aren't you handing the ball off to Henry? Like every time I've watched any Titans this year, every time they have a play that goes nowhere, that's my thought is like, why do you do anything except give the ball to Henry? There aren't a lot of other guys in the league where you go, hey, you've got teammates. Let's spread it around.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I know we talked about this a little bit last week, but Labo, I think, is what I'm trying for. Who does Henry stiff arm into the ground tonight? I think we made picks last week, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember who mine was, but any predictions? If anybody's going to get stiff armed, who's it going to be?
I think he's right. It's King. I feel like Henry's stiff arms are always going to his left, and that's where King's at out there trying to keep contained. It's going to be King.
I'm actually gonna go Will Redmond on this one. For some reason,
Will Redmond's inactive.
So I'm not going to Will.
Yeah, that's
how good Henry is. He's gonna find Will Redmond up in the suite or something, and just sneak up behind him like Predator and just
exactly Redmond mine. What the hell's wrong with Will Redmond?
Concussion.
Wait a minute. Isn't Jacob working this game?
I have no idea. It probably
is.
Yeah. That's who I want. That's who I want. That's who I want stiff armed. It's Jake.
Ron Artest up into the stands.
I wouldn't be upset about that at all.
He's going to go out of his way before the game even starts and just start laying haymakers on Jacob just because he heard a few things from his buddy Todd Varney. Got to take care of business. So, guys, we introduced a segment last week on the pre-snap where we did some over-unders. While we're talking about Derrick Henry, let's go there right away. Let's start with the first over-under of the night, and that is this is a line I didn't even make up. This is from Caesar's Palace in Vegas. Derrick Henry rushing yards, 104.5 yards. Over under. Todd, give me some juicy goodness, buddy.
Over. I don't know what kind
you didn't even hesitate.
No, I don't know what kind of like answer anybody could come up with to say under. Like Dan, I'm not going to steal yours. What's the one way that we can stop him?
Derrick Henry was felled by a congenital heart defect before he came out onto the field. That's the only way he doesn't get more than 200 yards rushing.
200, you say?
Dude, yeah, of course he's going to get 200 yards. He's like almost averaging 130. He's had like 5 games where he gets 200. There's no way he doesn't get 200 yards.
You think with the snow, with the obviously that's the focal point of their offense. That's what the Packers have been focusing on this week. Even with all those added in, you think he goes for $200?
I think there's no, like, I don't know, like book it. Like what's the cliche? Like mark it down, book it. It's my lock of the week. Like Henry runs for over 200 yards.
So this line was way low for Dan.
Super low.
Well, Jimmy, I assume you'll make it unanimous.
Oh, I'm going. Oh, I'm not. I don't think it's 200, but I'm definitely going over 104.5.
That's free money then. If you're in Vegas, go hit up the Caesar's Palace. Apparently, free money out there. I guess.
Like take this line of 104 yards and make it a spread, and set the over-under at 104, and then set the spread at 104. And I think he covers the spread of 208 yards today. Like, I think he just kills it today.
Jesus, Todd. I'm so used to saying that to Todd. Man, what the hell?
Hey, do you have a crush on Derrick Henry? Do you have him on your fantasy team? What's with that?
He's carrying me to my fantasy championship.
He feels like he needs to pay him back. Yeah, here we go.
And also, I mean, just how many games have we watched so far this year where Derrick Henry murders, just literally kills good, God-fearing men with children with no regard for human life. Derrick Henry is the natural force that cannot be stopped.
The natural force that cannot be stopped.
Dear God.
What's going on here?
Did you guys see the NFL player, the mini pictures that they put up? And somebody had his stiff arm against the Lions, and they shrunk down the guy that got stiff armed. It looks like he's choke slamming a baby. It's fantastic. Not that I condone choke slamming babies. That's not funny.
I hope you.
But if it looks like
Game on Wisconsin are not. Todd Barney does not reflect the views of Game on Wisconsin and choke slamming babies.
We need the legals there. We need to cover all of our bases when we have Todd on a show. Let's go to the quarterback, Ryan Tannehill. Passing attempts with the snow. I brought it down a little bit. 16.5. Dan, please go on a Tannehill. I love Tannehill tangent now, please.
I think he goes over with this too. I really do. I think Derrick Henry, I think he gets big chunk yards, and then when the Packers bottle up in the box, load the box up, Tannehill kills it on the outsides. Like this offense works pretty damn well, even outside of Derrick Henry. And Tannehill has basically had a career revitalization based off of play action passes with Derrick Henry. So yeah, I think he does well tonight. I'll go over.
Give me a number.
Put it at like 20, I think.
Okay. I had it at 20.5 originally, but with the snow, I brought it down a little bit. Todd, 16.5. Is that low?
Yeah, I think with the snow, I'm going to take the under on this one. I think it's going to be a bad game. Patty Hugh in the chat says, if Rodgers gets us up, I don't know that happens. And even if he does, their offense still goes through Derrick Henry. So I think that's going to be their move tonight is feed Henry, keep the ball on the ground, and work the play action pass in there.
Jimmy, bring us home.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I 100% agree with Todd.
Wow.
I'm going to go, yeah. It's a weird day for me, guys. I don't know what's going on.
There's a lot going on. Well, last week the Packers had a really rough second half. Aaron Rodgers voiced his displeasure very heavily. It was a Saturday game last week, so I think I'm not alone when I say I drank too much. Over under second half beers drank by me today. 5.5 is the line given last week's horrible performance. Now, for reference, if they play bad, I'm probably going to drink more. So, Dan, we'll start with you again. I need a prediction out of you. You're very passionate about the lines today.
Pound the over. Alex is going to be passed out by the time the 2-minute warning comes around.
Oh.
I believe in you, Alex.
I believe in you, Alex. He wants me to pass out before the game's even over. That's good. Todd, I imagine you'll be right here with me. What are you doing with this?
Do you work tomorrow?
No. No.
Over.
Oh.
Yeah.
Over all night.
Yeah.
Are you doing post game?
Yeah, we'll see. I kind of, I'll probably meet up with Matt Ramage.
Yeah,
I'll likely link up with Matt Ramage, so that might.
Yeah, if you're meeting up with
over.
Matt, then yeah, I'm gonna take the.
Yeah, I was questioning. I was gonna be different and go under, and then you mentioned Matt, so I'm definitely gonna say over for sure.
I'm gonna go just slightly under. I think I'm gonna keep it to 5, and maybe I'll be on whiskey at that point, depending on how bad.
You can't do this though. It's about your drinking. You can't bet on it.
Oh, that's true. I guess I can. I'm like Jim Donaghy over here betting on my
like
game.
$100 says it's only 5.
Yeah.
All right, we'll have like 6. Be like, oh fuck,
Oh, I ruined it. Last one. Rodgers was sacked a season high 5 times last week. In the snow, can the Packers offensive line find their groove? Corey Linsley also active again tonight, so the offensive line might be looking fully healthy for the first time in quite some time. 2.5. Rodgers sacked.
I'm gonna go under for this one. I think it's gonna be a bounce back game. Besides last week, we didn't have much trouble on the offensive line. Like we were really solid. Things were shuffling around, and now we're gonna go back to arguably our best lineup with Linsley active now, so we can move Elton Jenkins back to left guard, and then Lucas Patrick, who struggled last week at left guard, can get back to his natural spot of this season at right guard. But they're gonna have a tough test with, as Lambo just put in there, Jeffrey Simmons is gonna be tough. But besides that, I think we're gonna handle or kind of minimize the damage they can do. So I'm gonna say under 2.5.
I like the optimism. Todd.
I'm gonna say under as well. Their pass rush doesn't really scare me a lot. I think they're gonna try and get the ball. In the snow, you're not looking for a lot of slow developing downfield plays, getting the ball out of Rodgers' hands quick. And if Linsley can play the majority of the game, I think we're all right. We saw it last week. It was Lucas Patrick just getting absolutely destroyed.
Eaten alive. Yeah.
So I mean, if he's not in there, then I think we'll be all right. So I'm going to take the under on this one.
Yeah, nothing against the guy. I just much prefer when Lucas Patrick is on the sideline than when he's on the field. Dan, bring us home.
Wouldn't Lucas Patrick still be at right guard? Sorry.
He should be. At least that's what we. Well, I guess we don't know because like now
Turner and Wagner have been playing good over there.
Yeah, Turner and Wagner have been playing well, and I mean, I think it's surprising to see Wagner come in at right tackle like they did because I thought John Runyon was playing great when he came in at guard, and so the fact that they like having Wagner play that right tackle position, which is where he's supposed to play, like I wouldn't be surprised if we maybe don't see Lucas Patrick, because then you've got Lucas Patrick and John Runyon on the sidelines ready to come in and basically fill in whenever. I'm going to go under here too. I agree with everything that these guys all just said. I don't think this pass rush for Tennessee is very good, and what we saw against Carolina was such an aberration from what this offensive line usually does. And now bringing the fact that they're healthy, I think there should be no reason that they give up anything more than 2 sacks.
I will take the over, and I think it's a point that keeps being brought up in the chat, and we'll get there now. Jamal Williams out tonight. That's going to add an interesting dynamic to that offense without him. So I will take the over. I think 3 or 4 is reasonable. It's kind of been his he's been wavering around that 2, 3, 4 mark kind of all year. 5, I mentioned the season high last week. But yeah, I think they can clean it up more so than last week, but I think it's still going to be over 2.5, hopefully. But again, I always say this, whenever Rodgers gets hit, I wince, I get scared.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I'm just, please get up. And so far, so good, knock on wood, that continues tonight. But hey, let's go here. Jamal Williams out with a quad injury tonight. What is going on?
Hey, Dan, real quick, what's that?
Dan,
yeah.
Tell us
It's all the dogs.
Happened.
All of the dogs are getting restless. They're getting bully sticks, and they're all fighting over who has the biggest bully stick.
Do you like all the dogs that are there?
I love all dogs. All dogs are naturally good. They're all good.
We don't have a dump button. You can't be talking about bully stick size.
It's a bully stick. I can't say that. I don't think I
Jimmy and Alex measuring
just
their bully sticks here.
Just like in the human world, it all revolves around how big of a bully stick you have.
Jeez.
This is off the rails. We're off the rails. Maybe we shouldn't have opened up the bar on a Sunday night.
Here, I got a question for you. Aaron put it in the chat. I think it's a pretty easy answer for it, but who would you rather tackle in an open field, Henry or Dillon? Rather tackle Dillon, right?
Yeah,
Henry.
I am going to J.K. Scott the shit out of either one of them. It doesn't matter.
I'm avoiding it by all costs.
And see, that's why I picked Derrick Henry, because it'll be a quick, painless death.
That's fair.
I don't think it'd be painless. Did you see the way he threw a grown man last week? I don't think it'd be painless.
A brief, it's like being in a nuclear explosion, like a brief instant of pain and then nothingness. That is Derrick Henry's stiff arm.
And you just wake up, tackle him low and wake up 4 days later in the hospital. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, brief coma. God. Good morning,
And
Dan.
you think your name is Marie Antoinette.
What?
I don't know where to go. Are we going to see some A.J. Dillon tonight?
No, I hope so.
We have to without Jamal.
Right, that's what I'm thinking.
Well, Dexter got called out.
One carry for 19 yards last week. I would love to see him.
Yeah, they're gonna have to. Aaron Jones, he's gotten a lot of carries the last couple of weeks, which is great because he's been performing really well. Like, what was 145 yards last week? So we want to keep that rolling, but at the same time, you kind of want to keep him fresh for the playoffs. So I would love to see A.J. Dillon this week too, just to see what we have. And it's a cold, snowy day in Lambeau. Like, this is what we wanted to sign, or this is what we drafted him for, being that bruising guy. So if there's ever conditions to do it, it's this week. So hopefully we get it.
No, you're 100% right. I'm agreeing with you.
That noise scared the shit out of me. I was like, what
the noise? me saying yeah scared the shit out of you?
I know it was like a glitch on my computer. All of a sudden, I just went, wow. I was like, oh, what the hell?
Yeah, that's what I got here too. I was like, what's happening?
See, it wasn't just me.
I've gone exorcist on you. No, I think it's interesting to make that point, right? You draft A.J. Dillon, both Williams and Jones, as we talk about all season long, on contract years. This is almost a tryout in a sense, right, for A.J. Dillon. He'll get more carries than he has all year. Obviously, he has been active very many times this year. So I think we see some time. I don't think he's going to do meaningful numbers, but maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 carries tonight for A.J. Dillon, and that's totally fine with me. I mean, our expectation, I think, collectively is that one of those running backs in Jones and Williams will return, the other will walk, and they will be a 1-2 punch with A.J. Dillon for a couple of years down the road. So tonight could be the first chapter of maybe, if they dish out the money for him, the Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon backfield.
Well, and I mean, I think this is going to be the start of something for this week and next week, because the Packers already you're already in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. You don't really need to rush back Jamal Williams. And those quad injuries are so tricky. Yeah. And then, make it now that he gets it last week. So he's basically got 2 weeks here, in the last regular season to recover. Mm-hmm. And you hope that you get the bye week so that he has 3 weeks before you have to bring him back. So hopefully this is just like the beginning of what we see from A.J. Dillon this week and hopefully next week too.
The good thing about, obviously you don't ever want a player to be injured, but the good thing about Jamal's quad injury is it's just a contusion. So it's not like a strain or he didn't pull it or anything, which is nice because those pulls is when that lingers through the season. Contusion eventually just goes away. So hopefully that one doesn't last as long as straining it.
True that. Todd, what was your best part about Christmas?
Guy, you caught me off guard on this one.
Good.
I'm going to say my mom made a killer prime rib that I'm still working on. She went in and asked the guy, like, hey, we're going to have 3 people having dinner. Like, how much? And the guy's like, I don't know, like 3-4 pounds. And she's like, cool. So should we do like maybe a 15-pound prime rib? This thing was like this big. It's insane. There's not I'm going to be eating this thing for 2 weeks. I'm not mad about it. I am not. Mom,
as you shouldn't be. Yeah.
Mom, I'm not mad about it at all. Just maybe a little less next time.
You know what? I think I don't think you need to talk her down from that.
No.
I think too much prime rib is like the best issue to have.
Okay.
Yeah, don't complain about that.
Okay.
I'm not upset. Like I
Okay.
said,
Yep.
there's a lot to it. I've had the meat sweats for 3 days straight.
That's that.
You're gonna
Actually,
have the meat sweats
I
until
did
it's
part way-
2021.
The only time I went outside on Christmas Day was to step outside because I had the meat sweats. Like got up from the table. It was like,
I just imagine Todd falling face first into a snowbank.
I felt like that. It was like that Ben Affleck meme where he's like outside having a cigarette in the cold. That was just me with just out there with the meat sweats.
The only time Todd got up his lazy ass on Christmas Day was to get a breeze because he ate too much prime rib. It's just unbelievable.
Sounds good.
I'm sweating now. Unbelievable.
You gotta go outside now.
You need to go outside. You're welcome.
I need to go be like Ben Affleck outside. Oh man,
Smoking a
terrific. What was the highlight of NFL Sunday for you guys? What do we want to dive into? Let's go around the NFL a little bit.
The Jets just completely fucking up their draft pick. Again.
Yeah. The Jets have won their second straight and handed officially now the first pick to the Jacksonville Jaguars and essentially really the rights to Clemson quarterback Trevor Lawrence. They beat the Browns 23-16. The Browns, of course, without their top 4 wide receivers. It was a mess for them too. But yeah, definitely a fun one. The Jets all of a sudden know how to win.
Yeah.
And just in time.
Yeah. It's Darnold just playing for his job. He wants.
I've been
wants to
telling
be
you
a
guys,
starter.
I don't think Darnold's that bad. I think he can play.
Yeah.
And I think them not getting Lawrence gives him the opportunity. They can continue to build around him. And that's the thing is I saw somebody tweeted it out this week that like none of the teams that are currently in the playoffs have a top 5 pick at quarterback. And I think that says something, because a lot of times those are bad teams that are drafting a quarterback to try and save their future. They don't have anything around them. So you're bringing in a guy basically to get beat up and throw the ball to nobody and probably doesn't have a running back behind him either. So I think if you're able to go ahead and build that team around Darnold, you'll be all right. He makes a couple of plays every week that you're just like, okay, the guy can play.
I get that. However, let's say you're a New York Jets fan. Would you rather continue to trust the process with Darnold, or would you be totally hyped about the generational talent that is Trevor Lawrence now slipping from your fingertips?
I don't know that it matters because Jets fans have never shown an ability to be strong critical thinkers. So it doesn't. I don't.
Fair point.
Like I don't know if that's Adam Gase is the problem more than who's taking a snap.
He's not going to get fired,
Which is amazing. He makes Matt Nagy look just like an offensive genius, just incredibly well-rounded and put together. Like it's insane.
Absolutely. New Orleans beat Minnesota in the NFC North, of course, 52-33 on Christmas Day. Alvin Kamara tying an NFL record for 6 rushing touchdowns. We've talked about it all season long, right? New Orleans right there with the Packers in the NFC. The Packers' big issue is the run defense. When you see a performance like that, it makes you go, I don't know if I want to see them in January.
Yeah.
I don't want to see him in. I don't want to see him in New Orleans again. I think that right, like the way that they're playing right now, just screams why you need to get the home field advantage this year.
Yeah,
because I just like I do not want to go back to New Orleans. Now that they're getting fans back in there, it's a completely different environment than when they played there the first time. Force them, if they want to have revenge, force them to come up here in the middle of January, in the middle of a blizzard, and beat us that way. I don't want to go see them in their place. They're the one team in the NFC right now that scares me.
But Drew Brees he did not look good. I know Kamara completely saved them that game with 6 touchdowns, but Drew Brees was underthrowing balls a lot. He had a couple of that interception in the red zone that should have been a pick, but the Viking player dropped it. Like he did not look good and put him or maybe he threw it. They weren't in the red zone. He threw it. He should have been an interception on like inside the 5-yard line. But yeah, no, I'd love to see Drew Brees in the cold in Lambeau just to see how his old ass body handles that. Good
Fair
talk. Good
enough.
talk.
Good
Good
talk.
job.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm trying. I also
ribs
produced
are gonna-
this. I'm trying to write a graphic.
Well, we expected Todd to also contribute, so that was honestly that's on all of us.
I froze up. My bad. Sorry. My internet went out here. So no, I would love to see Drew Brees trying to throw with those cold ribs or those sore ribs in the cold. Like, not going to be fun. And the first time you get hit,
Those are shattering.
Stay home, buddy. Stay home.
Do we expect him to bounce back? I mean, as you mentioned, he didn't look too great on Friday, but we expect him to get into at least a little bit of a groove come January, right?
I don't know. This far into the season, he's coming back from
broken
ribs. I think so. He's coming back from broken ribs. Like, that's not going to be something that's all suddenly, when you're still taking hits, going to heal up in a couple weeks. I think it's just going to be pain management at this point.
Right. 100%.
Yeah, there's like we've seen peak Drew Brees this season already, and it's not what we're seeing right now. The team is good because their defense is actually playing well, and Alvin Kamara is starting to get hot. It's not because of Drew Brees.
Right. Let's talk about this graphic quick. Rams lose to the Seahawks 20-9. The final. The Packers do not clinch with a win tonight. They needed the Rams to win after losing to the Jets. They now lose to the Seahawks. So don't get the help they need from LA. So, I mean, you can't clinch tonight, but I don't think the approach changes a whole lot.
I actually don't mind this. I mentioned on Lombardi's Bar, I was hoping that we'd have something to play for next week, just because.
Yeah, me too.
I don't like having 2 weeks where we don't play our starters. And we're going to have that bye week if we get the number 1 seed. So that puts a lot of pressure on next week, which I like. Having a week off is great, but I think taking 2 weeks off starts to bring on in that little bit of rust.
100%. I agree.
You know what I think is fantastic is that.
What's that, Todd? Please tell us.
Obviously, the Bears need to win next week to get in, right?
Yeah.
Win and they're in. Their best chance to win is if Tim Boyle plays because Rodgers is resting, which means Bears need to cheer for the Packers tonight. Not that we can wrap anything up now. I guess that was an old take from earlier today. Sorry, guys. They still need. They still need. But yeah, no, sorry. I'm in like 11:30 mode still.
We've got a report from Lambeau Field. Billy Turner's at right guard and warm-ups. Rick Wagner at right tackle.
Sweet. And then Lindsley's with the starting lineup then?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That's correct.
That's good.
He is back. So these screenshots were taken before the afternoon games went final, so this might not be relevant at all, but here's your playoff standings. You see the Dallas Cowboys all the way down there at number 11. They won against who did they beat? Somebody. Doesn't really matter.
Eagles.
That's who it was. They're 6-9 now, though, and with a win next week, McCarthy can get in, which is mind-blowing. They were 5-9 coming into today, and they might make the playoffs. But you see the Packers all the way at the top at 11-3. Of course, they have the tiebreaker with New Orleans, so a loss tonight still has them in the 1 seed. All they need to do to clinch is beat the Bears. That was always the case. That remains the case. Even with the loss tonight, the Packers are still the 1 seed in the NFC. I almost feel relieved a little bit now that the Rams lost, right? Because I had the overwhelming nervousness about next week if we saw Timmy, and so I'm good now. I feel a little bit more RELAXED than I did.
That was a real struggle for you to spell that word.
It's been a day.
Go ahead, Jimmy.
I didn't really have a point. I was just going to ramble, so go ahead.
Oh, my point was just to totally agree with Alex. Like, actually, it makes me feel less. It takes some of the pressure off about tonight because you can just come out and treat this like a regular non-conference game. You know, like I think from what I've heard from different people that are in the know, they've spent times with coaches and stuff like that. These non-conference games are where you kind of like open things up a little bit. You try 1 or 2 things that you wouldn't try against like a conference opponent or especially a division opponent because these games count for less in overall tiebreakers and stuff. So you get to try some new things. You're not so much worried about coming out and winning this week, because if you don't win this week, then it's all on you next week. Now the onus just goes, you're coming out to tonight, and you know that next week we're going to have to curb stomp Mitchell Trubisky one more time. So you come out tonight, play your ass off, and just get ready for the Bears next week.
So with the conditions like there at Lambeau and this game not really meaning much, do they sit guys tonight?
No.
It's too big of a game. Just mental wise, you're going to play teams like this in the playoffs. You have to. It's kind of just like a confidence game.
Todd, I like the question, but listen to how. Let's break this down together. All right, let's walk through this.
Yeah,
okay, they have been practicing, game planning, watching film, implementing a game plan all week long. Yep. Now the Rams lose 30 minutes before they kick off. You think they're walking up to A-Rod and saying, "Hey, buddy, Rams lost. You're no go tonight. You can throw on some sweat."
Here's the thing: they've been practicing and game planning and everything else since the summer, since going back to the end of last season. Do you think they're going to walk out there and go, "Hey, the game next week is the one that we need to win. This one is snowy. We're playing against a team that just you never know what could happen out there. Why risk injury to these guys and throw away what could happen in the
then why play anybody, Todd?
Right.
I'm just saying.
Come out and play the game
play last week?
Just
the
implications. Then
the implications of this game aren't that huge. It's next week that matters.
I bet the NFL would not be happy if all of a sudden Aaron Rodgers just doesn't.
Who gives a shit what Roger Goodell's happy about?
Todd, 6 words. Read my lips. You play to win the game.
All right.
I'm
sorry for asking a question, guys.
You should
go step outside with the meat sweats, Dottie. Get out of here.
I really hope they rest players now. Just after both of yours just bashing of Todd, Todd just texting.
Oh, you know they
like,
will.
Hey,
like Matt LaFleur's going to come on the post game, just like, oh yeah, you know, we were ready to go full bore, but then we saw that Rams game.
All
right. Let's get to him. Todd, you've been the butt of every joke. Why don't you lead us off?
Guys, it's gonna happen.
Tavon Austin scores. God damn it!
Yeah,
every week.
Yep, it's happening today.
What?
Tavon Austin's gonna score. I said that. Where the hell were you?
Yeah.
This isn't Netflix where we get a what happened previously on pre-snap where we saw you last week.
You were busy talking over me when I said Tavon Austin's going to score.
He said it. In his defense, he did say
yeah.
I'll defend Todd one time and one time only.
That's all I need.
Jimmy, Jamal Williams is out, so your bold prediction won't be about him, just like Todd's is always about Tavon.
Yeah. All right, I'm going with his replacement, AJ Dillon, over 40 yards rushing today.
Wow, I like that one.
Thank you. Oh my gosh,
you're welcome. Appreciate you. Good to see you again.
On how many carries?
Oh, good question. I'm 7 carries for over 40 yards.
I like the number 7. Good call.
Okay.
It's a holy number.
DK all the way, baby.
Lord.
Well, my bold take was going to be about AJ Dillon because I think he gets. I was just going to say he gets career highs in carries and yards. Basically, just what Jimmy said. He's had 5 carries is his highest per game. I think he goes over that, and I think he's had 50 yards once in a game earlier this season. I think he goes over that. But I'll go on the other side of the ball with defense. And I think Kamal Martin actually has a pretty big game tonight. And I think he does something to at least try to slow down Derrick Henry at least once or twice. Derrick Henry is going to get his. I've already gone on about that. But I really do think Kamal Martin comes out here and I think he makes 1 or 2 plays where we see like Derrick Henry become human for a second, and we all kind of have that stop and like, whoa, this is what we expect out of Kamal Martin. So,
okay, I like him. I was so busy listening, I still haven't made or even thought of one. So we're gonna get right out the top here. Equanimous St. Brown is a guy I've been a public defender of for months, even a year at this point. Equanimous St. Brand's not getting in the end zone once tonight. Equanimous St. Brand's scoring 2 touchdowns on national television for the Packers offense. How's that for bold?
Either bold or stupid. It's one or the other.
Let me ask you this. How many beers have you had already today?
1.5.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
I know it's just a sober dumb thought. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, shout out to Germany too. All right.
Yeah, I see that. We
Yeah,
got
seriously.
anybody speak German?
Ich bin ein Packer-Fan. Wie geht's?
I don't know that I would put anything up from Ben that's in a different language.
I failed German 101 my sophomore year of college. That's about all I got.
Oh, you failed German.
Oh, I failed it hard.
So we're talking like a 40%.
Like, I'm talking so bad that I showed up for my final and my German professor pulled me aside and was like, this isn't going to matter. like no matter what you do here, it's not going to matter. So like, you can probably just go if you want.
Hey, had you studied for that exam at all? Like, did you prepare at all for it?
Well, Todd, since
answer the question, Dan. Answer the question, Dan.
Since my grade was at the point where I was failing so bad that the final would have nothing to do with it, I'm going to say it's safe to assume I didn't study that entire semester. So
that's probably fair.
Did you still take the exam?
I think I sat down to like take the first couple questions and I was like, screw this. I just left.
Right. Because it didn't really matter. And so that time could have been better spent focusing on something the next week, like against the Bears when it mattered.
I'm leaving this goddamn.
Why is he still here? Why do we still let him come on here?
Dan,
the unbelievable part is I handpicked Todd and Dan to come join me the rest of the season, and I'm totally regretting that because these two are doofuses. Let's get to game picks. I need a score and a winner. Todd, go ahead, buddy.
I'm gonna go 34-27 Packers.
I like it. Danny boy.
34-28 Titans.
Oh,
get him out of here.
Ooh.
I'm really sorry, guys. I have been Debbie Downer about this game all week. For what it's worth, that is only the second time all season somebody has picked against the Packers on this show. The other time was the Buccaneers game. So it's happening. I am with Lambo in here in the chat. I hope to God I'm wrong. I hope I am reverse jinxing this hard. I really, really do. I am trying really hard to reverse jinx this. But I just feel so bad about this game. Yeah, that's fair.
If you don't think they're going to win, then why do you think they should play everybody? I don't.
I'm going to end you, Todd. I'm going to end you. You will not see 2021.
Oh, man. Jimmy, come on, buddy. Bring us home. Bring the optimism in the room back up, baby.
All right. I'm going to go 31-27 Packers on this one. I think we'll do enough to hopefully we just jump out to a big league right away so Derrick Henry just doesn't touch the ball as much as they want him to. That's how I see us winning. Is we're going to have our best run defense is going to have to be a quick offense. So let's hope we can make that happen.
Sure thing. It's been a weird week in the NFL, hasn't it? We've seen the Jets win. Really, it's been a weird year in the NFL. We've seen the Jets win 2 in a row. We saw the Steelers lose 3 in a row and somehow win today. We've seen teams lose in Week 16 that aren't supposed to lose in Week 16. Sunday night is the biggest stage for football week in and week out. And this isn't the first time we've had the privilege of watching our Green Bay Packers on Sunday night. I'm fired up. I think they get a bigger win than all of you predicted. 37-20 final score. We see Derrick Henry score both of Tennessee's touchdowns. But Aaron Rodgers is ending the MVP conversation tonight. Patrick Mahomes should have had 3 interceptions today, 2 of which were dropped, 1 of which was intercepted. But 16 dropped interceptions this year, by the way, for Patrick Mahomes. Aaron Rodgers, 2 passing touchdowns, and for the 3rd week straight, a rushing touchdown for the old man who even runs one in. 37-20, Packers win is my prediction. I've been waiting all day for a Sunday night, boys. I've been waiting all day. And it is time to go grab yourself a beverage, get the best seat on the couch, and if you have to, step outside with your meat sweats because, sometimes we got to do that. That's Dan Kotnick. It's Todd Varney. That's Jimmy Christensen. I'm Alex Strofe. Enjoy the game. Go Pack, go! We're waiting all day for a Sunday night.
Go Pack, go.
Go Pack.
Go Pack.